This is a video on the tech side of Restart. To start off, the main app I used was Canva. I used this app to design the logo of my film through the text and entering some images to make it really stand out. And as you can see here, I'm selecting a font. Thanks to this app, I can resize the text however I like. And then here is where I start going in and adding shapes and images to make the logo stand out. And after that, I can move each thing to make it organized and look nice. I also use the app to create the logo for my company. And as shown here, I used the same exact steps I did for the logo of my film to create this. Another app I used is Ibis Paint X. This app was used to create the Instagram page for my film. I did this by taking my own page and using that as an example and template, as well as another movie's page to make it based on that and make it seem realistic. This app is actually a drawing app, so I use that to my advantage by editing each picture to be a clip from my film or a graphic that I made based on the film. And after sorting everything together and adding some editing touches, this is the finished product. And this is another example of me using this app for my project. But this time, I'm using it to edit myself out of a photo. The app Canva can do this, however, I want it to be precise, and there were some mistakes I saw that I wanted to draw out or fix. And finally, the last app, and one of the most important apps I use for this project, is CapCut. First, I imported all of the clips into a new project. And then I'm just going through each clip to see if there's any mistakes that need to be cut out or trimmed, as well as searching for mistakes like duplicate clips, ones that had mistakes in them and I don't want them to be in the film. Another thing I'm looking for is clips that are too long. As you can see here, I'm looking at the camera when I should not be, so I trimmed that out of the video. I also trimmed this couch clip because the camera was going a bit slow. And another thing I used this app for was color coding. I took this clip of me doing an interview and made it more gray to make it symbolize a memory. And besides adding music, the last thing I used this app for was adding pictures over the film, such as adding text showing the writers, actors, producers, but in this case, I'm just adding the logo of my film. CapCut lets me resize it and move it to where I like. And that's how I made my movie, Restart.